Welcome to episode 205 of Kapowcast. We're back!
We're back!
A dinosaur story.
We're healthy.
I wouldn't go that far. We're physically alive.
I was supposed to say, we're walking around. Our mental health might be diminished, but other than that, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
I got a pain in my chest and in my back.
Yeah, same here. Also shortness of breath and dry cough.
Jeff, I think you might have something.
Fever.
I think you might...
Too soon?
Cough in my mouth, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if you have it. Hi, Mike. In case you forgot. Joining me is Tony Vance.
Hello.
For the first time in more than it's
been too long. Too damn long.
I think the last episode you joined us on was the Birds of Prey review back in February.
Damn.
Yeah, beginning of February.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's nearly half a year ago.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
It's like half of a year ago. So
A quarter?
a quarter.
I know math good.
I know math so very well.
Man. They shut down all the schools. Who cares?
And Jeff Jefferson, you're here too.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be back.
We're both a little shaggier than usual. Tony got a haircut.
Yeah, I broke the rules.
You got an underground
Sex dungeon / barbershop.
haircut.
What I did was I invited over a barber and hid them underneath my floorboards.
Underneath the floorboard. Yeah, so what's been going on with you guys? This is weird because realistically, there's honestly not a whole ton of news because last time we recorded, things kind of got out of hand really quick in the air in the country, really, because go back in my Wayback Machine. We watched Red Sun.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
It was all right.
That was actually, until today, that was like the last time I actually hung out with somebody other than my wife. Because me and you, we went to the mall. Mm-hmm. We went to Red Robin.
Remember when we could do all those things?
Yeah, we went to the video game place over by South.
We lived it up.
We did. We lived it up like it was our last day.
And it was.
Little did we know. I had to poop really bad.
I remember that. Remember we could just go somewhere and poop?
Yeah. It's like New York City now. You can't go poop anywhere. And then, yeah, like things kind of went south really quick. Like a day or so after that, I got a text message that Ace Comic Con was canceled, which I was supposed to be attending the following weekend.
Yeah.
We had our Chris Evans and Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston photo ops.
Oh.
And yeah, it was all canceled. We got all our money refunded, thankfully. We got just about everything from the hotel and airline and all that stuff. So that was
it easy?
Horrible. No. No.
When we tried to move around the honeymoon, it was pretty complicated. So
I can understand that.
Tony had to postpone his wedding.
Yeah, I did.
His wedding would have been last week.
Last
weekend.
Damn.
It's
weird. It's wild.
It's you start planning these big events in your life, and you never think that something so terrible is going to happen that you have to move it back. But good news is everybody knows I like to one-up people, so I have now the ultimate one-up wedding story ever.
Yeah, what's funny is, well, I guess it's not really funny. Like, I know a lot of people that are getting married like towards the fall this year.
My cousin's moving hers already,
and they're already concerned. Like, friend Ryan, their wedding is actually a week after yours.
Oh yeah, no, we actually got their save the date, and we were like, oh no. And we had to run inside and like check the dates of our honeymoon and stuff. I was like, are we going to be back? And I think we arrived back the day before.
I think my cousin there, I think they're anticipating, because theirs is in, I think, September. Yeah. So it's weird, man. It's like, what time? Like, fuck, Barry.
Just had to go back and save your mother, didn't you piece of shit?
We are seriously living like the worst timeline right now.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It'll get even worse.
Yeah, my cousin, she was supposed to get married after us. She's getting married at the beginning of October. And now, from what I hear from my mom, they're looking at pushing it back.
To like next year?
To next year. And I was just kind of like, God damn it. Here we go again. I'm going to have to hunt down our DJ.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not the case, but
I really hope not, man. You know this. Like, the best part is when it's finally there, and then it's all over, and you don't have to worry about it.
No, now you got this existential longing of.
It's just
not quite yet. We're gonna put it off a little bit longer.
And all this money that you spend on invites and save the dates and all this other bullshit.
You get to do it again.
Oh no, we're not doing it again.
Well, how am I gonna know when it is?
You better look at that Facebook invite that I sent out, because that's how it's fucking happening.
So, and I mean, we don't need to tell you guys, but like just so much more things. Like movies have been postponed, pushed back, theaters are closed.
Yeah, we would have reviewed Black Widow.
We would have reviewed Black Widow by now. I think Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe by now. I don't know. I remember what the original release date of that was.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. And like, that's the bummer thing is like, me, I'm not, and I think, I don't know, you guys might be the same way. Like, I don't go out a lot. Like, I'm not the type of person to really go out and do a whole, but the one thing I do love doing is I do love going to the movies.
Yeah.
And that's been taken away from me. Yeah, and I'm mad. But I'm not going to do anything about it.
I am mad only because I have not figured out how to hook up my TV sound into my surround sound receiver. So I have no surround sound while watching these new movies.
Oh, that's sad.
But one day I'll figure it out. What about you, Jeff?
Oh, I've just been working and stress eating and stress drinking mainly.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
It's all the same.
Yeah, a lot of I've noticed. I mean, well, it's also too because we're eating at home a lot more. Mm-hmm. Like we usually would go out to eat like 3-4 times a week, which imagine the amount of money. Like, we've been saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we just eat. Like we'll just be saying, like, why am I just eating? Like because there's nothing else to do. Yeah. Took the dog on like 37 walks. Like, couldn't even go to the comic book store to get new comics.
Mm-mm. Now you can though.
Now you can.
If you make an appointment.
No, you don't. Apparently, I don't know. Somebody at work had told me that. But apparently, no. It's just maybe it's like if they get like extremely busy, but it's like a 10-person limit. Huh. Like we just walked in and we're good to go. You got to wear a mask, and they have arrows directing you.
Oh, okay.
Like where to? No,
I screw up every time with those.
It's so you don't realize how hard it is to follow arrows. So you're like, oh wait, I want to go down this aisle, and
you guys would never make it out of an IKEA alive.
Funny story. I have an issue with authority, and when IKEA tells me where to go, I'm like, nah, and I cut through the sofa area.
It's impossible.
You can't do that.
I just did. What are you going to do about it, blue shirt?
That's what started the virus.
People not following the arrows.
People not following the arrows in IKEA.
That makes sense. But like Michigan was a hot spot.
When I was in Big Ben's, like I'm so used to my routine of like how I go through the store that I'm like, no, I'm like, well, I gotta go through here. But
the robot.
Then I had smoke coming out of my ears.
Cannot compute.
It's a bitch.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I'll go and hit the Marvel Legends up first because they're right there.
They're not right there no more.
Oh no,
they moved them.
Damn it.
You know and this is gonna be like make no sense to probably a bunch of people that aren't from the area, but you know the aisle where like they have the comics on the side wall there.
Yeah.
And then they have that other aisle. They're right across from them, so it's like comics, and then the shelves right here, and then the Legends are.
That makes sense though if you want to kind of rope people into comics. Because Marvel Legends is a big seller, obviously.
So we went there Friday, and I purchased 2 Marvel Legends. That's all I was going to do. Because as I said, the Friday before when I got paid, I got a little carried away. But there was multiple Legends there that I wanted to pick up, and I easily could have probably dropped like $200. And I was like, nope.
You weren't feeling like pulling a me, huh?
No.
I think that's a one-time thing. I don't know if I'll ever make that call ever again to buy that many at one time.
Jeff, a little bird told me that you've been buying video games.
I have on Steam. I got a new computer, so thank God I got it just in time.
I was gonna say you got it literally right before this.
Yeah, my buddy Chris, he was like, "Yeah, the price for electronics is gonna skyrocket. So if you want to get a computer, this would be the time." And yeah, we got it.
Wait, why are they going to skyrocket?
Because electronics all come from China.
Got some insider trading going on here.
So yeah, if you want to, it sucks. Like, if you want a computer, the prices have already skyrocketed. They were already up when I got there.
Really?
Yeah. Everything was up by about 10%. I was like, And then, so I've been blowing a ton of money on games that I don't ever have the time to play. It's pretty sweet.
What kind of... okay, so when I got my laptop, I got onto Steam, but... I had no interest in anything. So what games have you been playing?
Mainly Metroidvanias.
Oh, okay.
There's been lots of games that are from the 90s, old FPSs. I bought a bunch of full motion video games that were like from the mid 90s, back when CD-ROMs first came out. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, it's got actual real life video in it. It's fun to watch. It's nostalgic.
I tried to find StarCraft on there.
Do they not have OG StarCraft?
I couldn't find it on Steam, but I found it on...
Good Old Games?
No, the actual company that released it, Blizzard, yeah, their site has it. That was the only spot I could find it.
Wow.
And then OG StarCraft was like $40 or something.
Oh, suck it.
And I was like, no, I'm not paying that to play fucking StarCraft. That's stupid.
You could pirate it, probably, I'm assuming.
Yeah, if I was smarter, I could pirate it. I don't even remotely know how to do any of that stuff nowadays. I was a Napster kid where it was like super easy to get anything.
You just downloaded the music file that had an exe at the end of it. You gave your computer the AIDS vibe.
Yep.
You know, of all this craziness going on, virus, riots, murder hornets,
cannibal rats,
the
hippopotamus that's running around in Chicago,
monkeys with COVID-19 blood samples.
What does he want with those samples?
You seen Planet of the Apes?
I was just like,
oh no.
Another extremely like random and crazy thing happened. The Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
it's fucking happening.
You know the world's ending at the Snyder Cut's coming out.
Those fucking nerds.
They're so like fucking. I've seen so many people like with these vindicated posts like, "Fuck you, haters! It does exist."
The first thing that popped in my head when they announced it was like, "Oh my god, I wonder how Mike is feeling about this."
I had an aneurysm.
I was like, he's probably just like, "Oh, fuck you and fuck all of this."
You know what's funny is it came like a week or two after there was the Harley Quinn episode of the DC app. And this episode starts off with two like fanboys in the basement. One of them has a shirt on that says "Last Jedi is not canon," and the other one has a shirt on that says "Release the Snyder Cut." And like the one in the Snyder Cut shirt just like talk about how like the other guy asked him if he wants to watch like the Harley Quinn show. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch it. She's just a Mary Sue. And why do I want to watch a Batman show with no Batman?" And this, and then it's so like fucking spot on. And then like a week later, they're like, "Hey, by the way, here's the Snyder Cut," and I'm like, "Fuck."
Holy
like
shit.
Because now you're just, and now the fire is just having more fuel thrown on it. Mm-hmm. And my main point of contention with releasing the Snyder Cut, especially 3 years after, is what's the point?
Yeah.
Well, you can make money.
You can, well, yeah, you're gonna. The point now is to get subscriptions for HBO Max.
Yeah,
that's the point of it now. But realistically, like from a fan standpoint, what's the end game for you? You get the movie. Whether it's good, bad,
4.5 hours of your life sucked away.
Now it's and then there's going to be no follow up.
So I seen an article while scrolling aimlessly.
Bullshit.
It said that Josh Whedon has seen the Snyder Cut, the rough cut, and he says it's a complete train wreck. Now that's Josh Whedon, so maybe take it with a grain of salt, depending on your viewpoint. Of things.
I've also heard, and people were throwing this around shortly after, but it was from very unreliable sources.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Book News, Grace Vanderwall. From YouTube, we got this cover saying that AT&T wants to fire Robert Pattinson and bring back Ben Affleck for the Batman. I'm like,
what? I think this is
they just resumed filming it.
This aspect that you're speaking of right now, the false or not so solid information is probably the worst part to roll out of like this whole pandemic thing. Is like there's nothing to report, so all these outputs are just throwing out whatever they can.
More than usual.
Yeah.
And like I want to like
to do is add an exclamation point and a question mark on whatever bullshit you want.
Or no, one of the there's one guy on, because actually the Affleck thing actually also got some fun. There's this guy on YouTube, I can't remember what his channel is, but he has like an accent. I can't remember. I'll try to look him up after the fact and tell you guys, but
some kind of foreign.
He always like has these like breaking news or these scoops, and the thing he always says is take it with a pinch of salt. And like I feel like when you say that, it's, and which is funny because you kind of said it earlier, but when you say that, it's like it gives you the go ahead to just spew out whatever bullshit you can concoct in your brain. Mm-hmm. Like take it with a grain of salt, but I've heard Warner Brothers and Disney are working together on doing a DC Marvel mashup.
Yeah,
but take it with a pinch of salt.
Somebody just tagged me in a fan made poster. I don't remember who it was, but they tagged me in a fan made poster and they're like, did you hear about this? And I
fucking hate that.
I didn't even respond this time. I was just like, you wouldn't like, all right, one quick glance at the poster, it says 20th Century Fox at the bottom. I was like, is this not enough go ahead to say that this is bullshit? Because 20th Century Fox kind of got bought out by a little certain other company, and I don't think they'd be part of this.
I think the argument for a person doing that would be, well, not everybody knows all the inner workings of these things.
It was one of the biggest news hits. It was all over Google. It was all over Yahoo.
And I don't know about you, but for the most part, God, you got me on a...
Good.
For the most part, and I think you guys can too. You can spot a fake movie poster.
Yes.
Like it's very easy. Like
because it's always just cobbled together from existing posters. The lighting's all different on every one.
Yes. I've seen a lot of
different sizes and it looks weird.
I've seen a lot of people share, like the one that comes to mind is Beetlejuice 2 poster.
Yeah.
I've seen people share and it'll say like next year. And I'm like, do you really think we wouldn't have heard about this before the poster?
It's one of those things where it's just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we do pay attention to this stuff a little bit closer than maybe the average American does, but at the same time,
fucking common sense.
Yeah, you would have heard about it.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you.
I tooted there too.
As far as like first of all, the Ben Affleck thing, Ben Affleck isn't coming back as Batman. There was an interview he did where he said he was talking to somebody about doing the Batman, and the person was like, listen, like if you want to do it, cool, like that's fine, but I'm being honest with you, I think you will drink yourself to death if you do it.
Yeah, I've seen that interview with him. I was like,
that's cool, but you'll probably die.
Yeah. And then like when he really put it into perspective, it was just like, it just wasn't a good situation for him. For better or worse, Warner Brothers is moving forward with Robert Pattinson, the Batman. That costume is fucking horrendous. The more I see it, the more I hate it.
I like it.
Whatever. And then
I think it's nice.
There's certain things that like catch my eye that I don't like about it. But
I think the costume, I'll say probably for maybe the neck down, it's okay. I guess my main point of contention is the cowl. It goes back like this far.
Yeah.
He's holding his hands back really far, folks.
Like almost to the ears. It like cuts off right before the ears and then goes down. And it just looks weird. And Robert Pattinson, he does not have a heroic jawline.
It's very
or
slim.
a heroic looking facial structure in general.
There's two seams on the helmet that go back. Those are the two parts that I'm just kind of like.
And then for the Snyder Cut thing, it's not like there's going to be a sequel.
What if it's really, really popular?
I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be beyond popular. I would hope for Zack Snyder's sake that he will move on after this, like because he seems like he's kind of been stuck in the past with it, like wanting to get it out and released.
What's he gonna do after that?
He does have a zombie movie coming out.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, does he? Zombie movie?
Yeah.
I don't have any slow-mo in it.
Probably. I don't know. Are you guys at all interested to see the Snyder Cut?
Morbid curiosity.
He stole the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, the fact that it exists means that I have to watch it now, even if it's fucking 4
And the fact that they're
hours
putting like 20-30 million in.
Yeah, they're putting money into it. So, like, I'm just like,
But
well,
no reshoots.
I have to see what the hell this is all about. Because, I mean, they've also said that, like, it's supposed to involve Darkseid.
Yeah, they're supposed to we're going to get Darkseid, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, the Atom.
So there's a lot of aspects where I'm like, okay, how are you going to squeeze this shit into, like, an already
It's
packed
4 hours movie.
It's a 4-hour movie. Hopefully we're still in quarantine when it comes out.
It's basically gonna be a
Next year.
series, right?
They're saying they don't know yet. They've kicked around the idea of doing like a miniseries, which I don't know how that would work.
Like 4 hour-long episodes.
Like, would it just cut off in the middle of a sentence? And
I gotta take a shit, and then I just see you next week.
I think it could work as an hour-long miniseries episodes if they, if the editing.
That's the only way it could work. I don't want to sit and watch like 4 hours.
If the editing is there,
I barely want to do this show for an hour.
it's if the editing is there and they can like chop it up into 4 episodes, it would be a good idea. You would also, honestly, if they're trying to get HBO Max subscriptions, because like I am on board with this, I'm gonna get HBO Max to watch that and then cancel as soon as I'm done.
This way, if you do it in like a 4 miniseries, you can spread it out to like get those people to do 2 months.
Right.
I think what they're going for is something like a Mandalorian thing, where a big budget miniseries. That's what they're hoping for.
There's passion behind that project, The Mandalorian, though.
Well, there's a
lot of passion behind that project.
I will never accuse Zack Snyder of not being passionate.
Yeah,
I will say that
he's definitely got a vision. It's a mad vision.
Speaking of The Mandalorian, have you guys watched the behind the scenes?
Nope.
Things? No. Got some good round tables in there with Favreau and the actors. The guy who played the Mandalorian.
Something Pest.
Yeah. The guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The one guy who was head animator on Clone Wars, who also directed for Mandalorian, that like was handpicked by George Lucas to do the Clone Wars. And it's pretty good. I do enjoy it. I would say that it's up to par with like those Marvel roundtables that they've been doing lately.
Oh, that's cool.
So I would suggest if you enjoyed that show to check that out. It's a good watch. Also, Prop World? Is that what it was called, Mike?
Something like that, yeah.
That's a really good Disney Plus show, too.
You know what's weird? I haven't really gotten into watching anything new. I've been watching a lot of old stuff, and I think it's like this weird comfort thing.
It is.
Where I'm just like,
I rewatched The Office lately, so I knew I was doing bad when I was rewatching The Office.
Recently, Steph decided to rewatch, I guess, for her, Avatar, The Last Airbender. The show.
Okay, that's what the show, right?
Because the show is now on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, they called the movie Avatar.
She was really mad at me because I wasn't paying attention during it.
Did you look at it and go, "How does it feel?"
I don't want to watch your weeb shit.
She was like, "You're not watching it. I just wanted to, you know." She's like, "Why don't you like it?" I'm like,
"Because I'm not a child."
I'm like, because like one day I was like, "What do you want to watch?" She was like, "Oh, I guess we can watch Parks and Rec." I was like, "Well, you want to watch your Avatar, don't you?" She's like, "Yeah, but you don't like it." I'm like, "Just put it on." Like, I don't care.
I don't give a shit. I just don't want to pick something again.
But it's really good. You don't understand the character development that Aang goes through. And
I mean, it did get enjoyable towards the end.
I mean, like, I would watch the odd episode. My brother used to watch it. But, like, I could never really get into it. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Mark Hamill does a voice in it, though.
Yeah. It has a good voice acting.
Mick Foley also does a voice.
What?
Mick Foley does it.
Does he play Cactus Jack?
No, he plays the Boulder.
Oh.
He was like a earthbending wrestler. God, I hate that I know this. He was like an earthbending wrestler, and he kind of talks like The Rock. He's like, the Boulder!
How's his voice acting?
That's fine. At first I was like, that sounds... Like, you know when you hear a voice, you're like, that sounds familiar.
That guy sounds like he only has one ear.
That guy sounds like he took a couple dozen chair shots in one match.
But one thing that I watched that was not familiar was Justice League Apokolips War. And, you know, I was thinking about it, especially because like more shit's going on in the world now, and I'm like, we could not have picked a more, you know, down thing to review to kind of go with the rest of the plate of sadness that's in the world. Wash it down with a little Justice League Dark Apokolips War. So funny enough, when this got released digitally, these films aren't usually something I worry about spoilers. Because there may be something that happens that's like cool, but like usually it's not like a Avengers level spoiler territory. And I was on Facebook and I scroll and I see these screen caps from it and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was just like,
got some hard R screenshots, huh?
Yeah, to say the least. And I was like, I was like, maybe I should run to Meijer one day after work and go pick it up. And then, like, I was at work, and I was like, it hit me. I was like, oh, no, it's on digital.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck. I'm not going to buy it on digital. So, I found other ways to watch it.
Dun, dun, dun. It's ironic, because I purchased it to watch it.
I have since purchased it.
This quarantine has fucked everything up.
Up and down. Dogs and cats living together. I've since purchased it, so we're good. We're even Steven.
Even Steven.
The damage is done.
Shia LaBeouf.
But holy shit, like...
Yeah. If you enjoy being depressed.
And mass amounts of blood and destruction, like...
And every character that you've had development put into for the past...
4 or 5 years?
Yeah, and like 10 animated films, just...
So here's the thing when it comes to spoilers for this movie is you can't talk about it without talking about the spoilers. Like, so, you know, maybe we would try to do like a non-spoiler and then spoiler, but like I can't think of, like, I feel like everything's, because like,
if it's non-spoilers, we're like, oh, it was good, or oh, I didn't like it.
So if you haven't watched it yet, pause this podcast, get some popcorn, go watch it for like an hour and a half, be really sad, and then come back and we'll cheer you up and talk about it.
It better be Orville Redenbacher popcorn
extra butter.
Yes.
So I think I had messaged you guys in the chat. I was like, listen, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this movie. I'm getting some serious fucking ultimatum vibes.
Dude, that's exactly how I felt too.
Yeah, like it just
felt like fucking well, the R rating didn't help anything. It just made everything worse for me because I'm just like, this just seems like an edge fest. It just seems like in the early 2000s when everyone was just trying to extreme each other, fucking like what happened in Final Crisis where characters were just getting killed off for the sake of shock value.
Yeah.
It seemed like a total shock value fest to me.
So this movie is the final chapter in what started with Justice League War back in like 2000.
Technically Flashpoint.
13. Technically Flashpoint. Yeah, it's kind of that's weird because like at the end, Flash and Batman still know each other at Flashpoint, but then in War.
Yeah, I mean that happens in comics too.
It's kind of like a weird, but so
another weird thing. I just figured I'd point this out. Darkseid isn't 30 feet tall anymore.
Yeah. And his voice is completely different.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Okay, so just real quick, I'm going to get this out of the way because I doubt we'll talk about this.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
I was super jazzed when I heard Tony Todd was Apokolips.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet.
He's a great actor.
But it fell flat. Oh, yeah, sorry. But it fell completely flat. Yeah, I was like, this sucks.
I felt all the voice acting was really flat.
It was just the standard new 52 animated voice acting too.
Which always has felt flat to me.
Yeah, like especially the Batman. I
really don't like Batman.
I still do not like that Batman.
I don't really like Jerry O'Connell as Superman either.
No?
Oh, really? I like Jerry O'Connell and then Wonder Woman being
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
she's fine as I actually like her as Wonder Woman.
What about Rebecca Romijn as Lois Lane?
Oh, she's fine.
Yeah, she's all right. But I mean,
honestly, like I hate to be that guy, but I really miss the old Timverse voice actors from Justice League Unlimited.
What about do you feel like the voice acting from that would have really pumped this up?
It would have helped, but I don't know how much. Like this movie had a lot wrong with it, in my opinion. Like the pacing was all fucked up. There wasn't any actual fighting in it for the first like half of the movie. It was just characters getting killed in a montage,
which was really weird.
Yeah, it was.
So, and also there's Rainn Wilson as Lex Luthor.
Yes, well, I don't mind. I think he does.
Which I always thought was
he's the only one that actually kind of like remotely changes his voice.
Yeah.
To the point where like I don't hear Dwight.
Yeah.
You know, so like when Jerry O'Connell talks, I hear Jerry O'Connell, but it fits with Superman, so I guess that's like a plus. Rosario Dawson, I don't hear Rosario Dawson.
What about what's his name that played Constantine, the show he does the voice for him here?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, like, I hear him, but
like I'm just saying,
I know him from Constantine, so it works.
But like, yeah, his voice acting was good.
Yeah.
Like, especially it had to be good. He's the lead.
Yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing. I think we've brought this up with voice acting, you have to overact because you have no other form of expression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you just talk normally while voice acting, then it just kind of falls flat.
And that's why I don't like the fucking Batman guy.
He is very deadpan.
He's very deadpan, and like, I don't know. Have you ever heard Bruce Greenwood's Batman?
I don't know.
He voiced him in Young Justice, and he voiced him in Under the Red Hood. And he has like a almost militaristic type, presence to him, but it's still like
Captain Pike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's still like comforting in a sense.
Yeah, his was really good.
I feel like this Batman, he tries to do something like that, but it's so flat and emotionless.
And he's just a little mumbly too.
Yeah, it's not even like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
I think that Batman voice, though, through all of this has grown a little bit on me because in this movie it didn't bother me nearly as much as it does in like the Batman movies.
It fit him more in this because he's supposed to
be under mind control.
He's under mind control.
Yeah, true.
He's like kind of this soulless, being with the Mobius chair.
Yeah.
So, which apparently is important, but I never brought up why in the. It's just a floating chair that shoots laser beams in this movie.
So, real quick, the movie starts off. We start off with Constantine and Zatanna on the Watchtower.
Doing it.
And they go to the Justice League meeting where Superman's like, hey, listen, we gotta go fucking take this guy.
He's a dick.
It's very very un-Superman-like, where he's like, we need to go fucking take the fight to him. And I agree with like Flash and Constantine. They're like, listen, like, by doing this, you're kicking a hornet's nest. Like, what about the Earth? Like, people are like, no, we gotta go do it. It's like, all right. And they're just kind of like, let's go. So they go, and the whole time Darkseid was basically watching through Cyborg, because Cyborg is made from a mother box, so blah, 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 blah. And
he was hacked.
Yeah. And they go in, and there's these weird parademon doomsday monsters.
Those were terrible.
They were like, it was like something out of some kid's DeviantArt account.
You know me, I usually like overpowered bullshit, but this was just god awful.
Yeah, like it seemed like something that they'd cobble together for like a tie-in video game more than the actual plot of the film.
Yeah, it's very true.
And they kind of pull an Avengers thing where like, you get the battle and the what were they called? Paradooms?
Paradooms. So bad.
They come towards the screen, and then it's just a Justice League Dark Apokolips War 2 years later, and they go to the Earth, and the Earth's just basically fucking a wasteland.
It's a pile of fuck.
Pile of fuck. And we're introduced to a depowered Superman and Raven, which that was the one thing I will have to say about this movie. They definitely picked the most random grouping of characters to throw together and be like, and this is your main team? Yeah. Superman, Raven, Damian, Constantine, and Etrigan.
All right, so I know that you were not a fan of Damian at all. Did you have any change of feelings in this one to the character of Damian?
He didn't bother me in this one.
I actually really liked him.
I actually started to like him more, like in the Teen Titan films they did.
Yeah.
I started to enjoy him more.
Yeah, although I didn't like him trying to sound older. Like, his voice was just...
I think that's puberty.
Yeah, it sounded very... but like... Well, the voice actor is actually a kid, so I think I'm trying to sound like an adult. It's only like 2 years in the future, but everyone seems to have aged 10 years.
Tragedy does that to people.
Yeah, Superman has gray hair and a beard.
Yeah.
So they basically... like
stress is a killer, man.
We get a rundown of what happened once the credits roll, and it's just like you said, it's this weird... Like, it's not even really a montage because it's just like these still shots.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's part of what makes it like even worse is like they're just still shots and you just see, oh, here's Green Lantern, Hal Jordan getting ripped apart.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Aquaman getting sliced in half with an Omega beam, and I'm like, that shot of Aquaman, the one of Mera, where they're like crushing her head and there's like blood coming from it. Wonder Woman getting her arm cut off. And a couple more moments that we'll get to later. Like, all of that just did not sit well with me. Like, and I'm not...
Mass genocide did not sit well. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't feel it was written well. Like, it just seemed like it was done for the sake of shock value.
I feel like when I'm watching that part, I literally felt like, okay, like, this feels like a one-up. Like, oh, you wanted to kill all these Avengers? All right. We're going to kill the Justice League.
I'm not at all shy of, like, violence. Like, I don't in films and stuff like that.
Violence
like,
is fucking awesome.
Like, you know,
well, that's the thing about this movie. It didn't have a fight scene until about an hour in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like you guys said, it's a montage of kills.
Like, you're being told fight scene, the fucking boxing match between Lois Lane and Harley Quinn. Like, don't even get started on that.
Oh, you didn't like it? I liked it.
Like, I liked it. What the fuck was the point?
I was like, I thought I was going to hate this at the beginning, but I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, I like Foxy boxing as much as the next guy.
I think it was more the exchange between Constantine and Captain Boomerang that I enjoyed.
I like the exchange between Constantine and King Shark.
Oh, that was so off the wall. I was just kind of like, what?
Yeah. King Shark is a shark.
Yeah. He's like a Pokemon.
Choose you, King Shark.
And then, I also enjoyed when we get a few F-bombs in this.
Yeah.
And where Constantine's, they go to do like the teleportation, so he's like, all right, I need like 10 hours. And Raven's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Just like, they're like, all right. Like, Raven's one of the characters I've enjoyed since the Teen Titans movie. I think they've done that character really well. Constantine I enjoyed. Like, it's kind of weird. And I'm pretty sure you both probably really enjoyed Etrigan in this.
Yeah.
Really?
He has to rhyme.
But he was so...
I guess that I enjoyed it because that's the one character that if he's not in character, you kind of, it really adds to the gravity of it because every member of the Justice League, every time something goes wrong, they're just all like, so like that's nothing new. But to see Etrigan like just not rhyme and then just be waiting for the next fight, and then when the fight comes, Etrigan doesn't really do much of anything besides to the final battle.
When they go get Damian and the ninjas are attacking, he's like, well, you're doomed. Etrigan's here. He's just like grabbing people and just like throwing them. And at one point, he just throws a bottle at a guy's head. In
the bar fight, he doesn't do anything at all. He's just passed out on the bar.
Yeah, and then he breathes fire on somebody. Yeah. So, and that happened before the Lois fight, right?
Yeah.
The ninja fight?
I think you're right.
That's like, it hits the 2 years later, and I think that's the first thing we see is the bar scene.
So yeah.
They go, they find Damian. Damian's now leading the League of Shadows with Shiva. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we get another disturbing image when they go back to the Titans fighting. You know, call me crazy, but I just don't want to see Starfire ripped in half with their intestines hanging out. It's just not something that, like, you could have just showed her on the ground.
Like, I did that pan across and I seen Starfire. I was like, oh no!
Yeah, you see like Kid Flash, like, just laying there, and then somebody else I forget with like arrow or something sticking out of them, and I'm just like, the fuck. Then we see Nightwing get killed.
And then Nightwing reformed I laughed pretty hard at that part.
Damian puts Nightwing in the Lazarus pit, which it's kind of cool because it shows character development for Damian.
Exactly, yeah.
Because Raven's like, you said you wouldn't do this. Why would you do this? You promised. And he's like, he was my brother. Like, I needed to try something. And
yes.
Damian kind of lost just as much as everybody. He lost Batman and...
I found it very odd that like the top fighters of the Bat family got ixnayed, but then later we find out that like all the rest of the Bat family is already is alive. And I'm like, how did you guys survive? But the really good ones got taken out.
Maybe they didn't go into battle.
I was gonna say they fucking ran. Cowards.
So they end up getting the help of Damian, and then they go to the boxing match, the Foxy Boxing, where we're introduced to Harley Quinn and the rest of the Suicide Squad. The interactions.
Daisy Dukes.
She is. I really liked her character design in this film.
You're right. The interactions between Captain Boomerang and Constantine are fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guilty's party here when
you jacked off, didn't you?
Yes, of course I did.
Sick son of a bitch.
When it all comes to clear after the Foxing boxing match, Constantine or somebody, I don't remember who, asked Harley, how did you convince Waller to let you take over the Suicide Squad? And she's like, she died from cancer. And it starts cracking up, and I just started laughing my ass off. I was like, oh, that's bad. Like, why am I laughing at this?
Well, then she stops and she's like, it's a defense mechanism.
And I was like, thank you for justifying me.
And then there's another part where they're storming, because they have to go to LexCorp, because Lex Luthor is helping Batman and Darkseid.
I mean, it's classic Luthor.
Yeah. Did he join the Justice League like in a movie, or was he
at the Reign of the Superman?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So they go and they have to do, I forget what it is, but they have to they're going to try to boom tube to Apokolips and destroy Apokolips by putting it through another boom tube or something weird like that.
I think
the plan is very cobbled.
Yes, LexCorp is like the place of like the transportation pad or whatever it is, the teleportation pad to Apokolips.
Oh, and that's what it is. They're gonna take the Apokolips is gonna take all the magma from Earth for some reason.
Yeah. Why isn't he just out?
It's a very Dr. Evil plan.
Yeah. I didn't really understand the plan either.
I was just like, I'm just along for this weird fucking ride, I guess.
I guess the science is kind of there where, like, if he displaces the Earth's core, then obviously the Earth starts to die, then everything starts to die, the heroes die. And
I just remember the plan because I just remember there's a part where Darkseid goes to Oa.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys like that part.
If there's one planet I wish that didn't get killed, it was Oa.
Well, what's funny is because I rewatched it before you guys got here, because I watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I need to refresh myself on what happened. It's funny is they go to Darkseid and like he's already pretty much laid waste to Oa, and like there's things on fire, and he's just like floating, and he's just like shooting his Omega beams, just like blowing up parts that are already on fire, just like.
He's very Valley Girl about it.
Yeah, and then you get to see him waste a couple, third tier Green Lanterns, and he snaps Kilowog's neck.
Yeah.
But then the one part that had me just go, oh my god, is you have John Stewart, like the last remaining Lantern, because you actually see Guy Gardner too laying there dead.
Yep.
But John Stewart's crawling towards the battery, and he's saying the oath, and Batman's letting Darkseid know, like, hey man, they're fucking doing stuff on Earth. You might want to get back here. And as he's saying it, Darkseid's like, oh, by the way, transfer some of Earth's magma to Oa so we can set an example. And right when he's about to finish it, a portal opens and all this lava comes and just wipes him out.
Yeah.
And you just see his skeleton, and then it's so cartoony, it just turns to dust.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. And I'm like,
okay,
what the fuck?
I was partially hoping that the ring would find somebody else, and that Lantern would go and be part of the.
Is a pile of fuck.
I seen a side note. I seen some sort. I don't know what it's from, but there was a panel that somebody posted in a group of a Lantern ring choosing the Black Canary, and I was like, whoa! I would love to see that shit.
The Green Canary.
And I was just like, well, I need to find out what that's from just to check it out, because that would be really sweet. Anytime another hero gets the Lantern ring, it totally ropes me in.
Nope, not this time.
Nope, not this time.
No, but so we got Superman with weird green eyes. Because by the way, folks, Superman gets injected with liquid kryptonite, which apparently doesn't kill him, but depowers him.
Yeah.
Not sure how that works.
I thought it would have like killed him slowly, like cancer, or something of that matter. But like it just didn't seem to do much of anything other than
gives you black eyes with green irises.
Yeah, it just gives you
like
no powers.
Wait, what?
Look kind of like a weird game.
I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so you find out Lex Luthor's secretly helping them to
What was his code name? Anybody remember?
Sleeper.
Squeaker. So obvious.
Yeah. Yes, we do get montages of other heroes attacking these weird things that are taking the Earth's lava. We see Steel, Superboy. Who else is with him? Shazam.
And he has a lightning leg.
He has a lightning leg and a weird...
Lightning legs, or is it legs?
Just one.
Okay, I guess...
They all die.
They all fucking die. Well, Shazam goes on a fucking suicide bomber mission.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. You mentioned the Bat family. Like that. Like I didn't... Like it did me no... I got no satisfaction watching Batgirl getting ripped apart. Like...
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, come the fuck. I was like, come the fuck on, man. Like... I mean, granted, you don't really see anything, but you just see them swarm her and you see all this blood splatter go everywhere. I'm like, oh, come on.
All right.
She's fine.
Like with...
And that's kind of what happened because Zatanna dies in the early stages too when we're seeing the flashbacks and we see Constantine abandon her, which we find out was a spell she put on. But like,
which was Batman's idea. I was like, oh, you motherfuckers, you had to write that shit, didn't you? Oh, Batman had a great idea. I was like, God damn it.
You don't even see what the Paradooms do to her. They just swarm her. You just hear like...
I'm assuming rippage and bitage.
Mutilation.
But that was kind of the thing where I was sitting there watching all these heroes die, and it was kind of the way that everybody else reacted to Avengers Infinity War, where I was like, you don't know if all of them are going to come back. Like, they might not all come back. I was like, oh, they're totally resetting this. Like, you literally killed off every single solitary character besides, like, the Trinity.
Well, they'd already mentioned this was the last in the
They're not going to kill them all. Oh, just to be like, oh, yep, that's it.
Yeah. I knew that they were rebooting everything because they said they'd be the last in this timeline. But I didn't think they'd reboot everything by having everyone mercilessly killed and torn apart.
And I think Jeff, you said it early on. You said oh, nothing like seeing characters you've spent 5 years following getting and it's true.
It's unceremoniously ripped apart.
Yes.
Literally.
And because I liked the Teen Titan movies they did for this. I loved them. I thought they were great.
They should have did some more of those actually.
And then here's Starfire ripped apart with her intestines hanging out.
Yep.
Crack Superboy's neck. Fuck him. Justice League Throne of Atlantis, I really like that. Well, fuck all the development with him. We're just going to split him in half and he's done.
Yeah.
He didn't even get... That's another thing. Few of these characters get brought back as weird robots.
Yeah. Their designs were awful.
I agree.
It was really horrible. Shitty.
I agree.
The only one I remotely kind of liked was Mira's.
Where she was a snake lady?
I figured it was like a serpent of some type. Like a sea serpent.
But how, because Starfire's one of them. Yeah. How does that work?
I don't know.
She's literally ripped apart with the intestines hanging out. How?
Reanimated Frankenstein?
I guess.
I was about to say, there's always the Frankenstein angle.
And then, her, Mira, Hawkman,
Wonder Woman,
Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman are all
really dopey looking cyborgs.
Yeah.
Really 1980s. It reminded me of the bad guy in the Centurions or something. It was just yuckola.
They weren't great design.
And then Hawkman kept going caw over and over again, which was really
good
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time he would come into a frame, it'd be like, ah!
It's really good.
It's
I get it. He's Hawkman.
You don't gotta announce it every single time.
There's a there's a fight between Etrigan and the brainwashed Wonder Woman, which Etrigan then dies. Mm-hmm. He rides at the end.
He does, which was kind of poetic in a weird way. He meets his doom and then he rhymes.
It was a good run.
It was. I wish we had more of him in this continuity line, but
long story short, Lex Luthor dies. Lois Lane and the entire Suicide Squad die.
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Damian dies.
Superman's okay.
Yeah.
The only part...
Constantine dies.
Constantine dies for a second.
Yeah.
And I mean, Damian comes back.
Damian does come back, yeah.
He got fucked up.
He did, yeah.
I was dying at that
point. When he got hit, I was like, oh, here we go. We're going to go into time travel now. Yeah. Except that's not going to be Batman. It's going to be Damian.
Nope. He just turned into a weird, crispy-looking...
Little mole man.
Mole man.
Little raisin. Little California raisin.
I saw somebody, they posted a screen cap from the movie of like Batman holding Damian after that happened. It's like, oh man, did anybody else start to cry at this part? And one person was like, how could I cry when I was laughing?
All I said in that moment was, Papa, can you hear me?
We forgot to mention there's a subplot this entire time of Trigon the Terrible
and
on the verge of escape. And like, okay, so they're going to let him loose on Apokolips, right? And lo and behold,
they let him loose. At first, he takes over Superman.
Which actually, that was probably the part I enjoyed the most in the movie.
That was really
It looked really cool when the kryptonite incinerated on the insignia on his chest, and then the like demon flame demonic gas appeared. He had a cape made of flames, and the fight was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that part.
Why is that like?
I want to figure that.
Yeah,
when Etrigan gets expelled from Superman, and then suddenly he has... I don't know why I said Etrigan. Trigon.
Demon.
I am. Trigon gets expelled from Superman. He suddenly is powered again. He has his uniform.
Got his suit on again. Like, what the fuck?
That part... Okay, so the suit was like a little far-fetched, but the reveal was pretty good. And I'm not even a Superman fan. I was like, that's a good reveal.
Well, I just love... And like I said, I watched it again today. Like, when he's fighting Darkseid, there's a part where he grabs him by the head, and he has his thumbs in his eyes, and he's just swinging Darkseid back and forth. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I was like, I'm on board for that.
It's few and far in between that you get to see a Superman fight where Superman is like completely unhinged.
Yeah.
And like this is just on borderline of complete unhinged. He still has like his wits about him. And then you just get to see like the full frontal power of Superman. And that like it's something you don't get to see because usually it's just Superman flying around going, I'm the strongest ever. And
it's a rap dialogue.
So to see an unhinged Superman fighting Darkseid was really cool.
11 feet tall.
Who's only 11. You know, I really want to know how tall he actually was in the movie because it's all far off shots. It's never like side by side. Like, and then when they were side by side, it was always in the air. It was never standing.
He was definitely smaller in this movie.
Yeah, because he was like the size of a building.
Yeah. About the size of like a sentinel or something. It was like 20, 30 feet tall. And then they put him down to more like regular Darkseid height, like pre New 52 height.
Mm-hmm.
So when Damian dies, he gets hit with the Omega beams because Batman suddenly is like, I'm no longer under my control, and Darkseid's like, fuck you. Damian's like, no, and he gets killed. But then like, I don't have a problem with how this happens, but the fact they don't explain why it happened.
You're talking about the entire movie?
No. The part where Raven's holding Damian and she's like, I love you. And then, a tear falls. And then, like, she's suddenly, like, this light of magic happens and she's, healed and she's better. And Damian's alive again. Like, they don't explain, like, why did that happen?
It's the power of true love, Mike.
No!
You've never been on the verge of death and then
I've never been a weird raisin man. Nor has anybody I know been a weird raisin man.
That we know of.
There's a lot that happens outside of this show, Mike.
It's been a long 2 months.
And I feel like
it's happened to both of us.
Yes. Twice.
I feel like they kind of half-assed the explanation of Constantine coming back to life too.
Yeah,
it's magic.
It's destiny.
It's magic.
It's kind of this. It's the disgusting thing about the
this
magic.
This movie has like 4 wizards in it, so we're gonna have to check out.
Yeah, it's kind of the stupid whim of magic is that anything is possible through it. So it's a bunch of
half-assed horseshit.
Yeah. So like it's just one of those things. It's stupid, and you accept it because it's magic. And yeah, it's wrong.
And it's bad writing.
It's bad writing.
But
it
accept
is.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it happened.
We also see that Flash is being used to power Apokolips,
which I guess caught me a little bit by surprise because I thought maybe they wouldn't use the same gimmick multiple times in the storyline.
I would have figured they would use Constantine to magic up a Universal reboot, but nope. Oh, good, we got a Flash laying around.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, of course the Flash is powering it.
Well, it's funny too. Is in the beginning
of me for thinking you're going to do something different.
In the beginning of the movie, like when they're having their thing, randomly he's like, "I know you guys don't believe me about the Flashpoint thing."
Yeah, there was a lot of like kind of just throw it in there so we can use it later.
Yeah.
And then Cyborg is also integrated into like
Source Wall.
So
which they don't explain what that is either.
No,
they have all these big time, like the Mobius chair, the Source Wall.
Maybe this should have been 2 movies.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
or maybe it shouldn't have been a movie in the first place.
so like just wanting to like reboot this whole thing that they just like shoveled a bunch of shit.
Yeah, fuck it. They're all gonna die. We're rebooting the universe. Might as well kill everybody.
Explain this? Nah. Let's not explain this.
We need to kill 30 more characters in the time it would take to explain what's going on.
At least 30% of people watching this movie know what these things are, so fuck that. They know.
Yeah, like, I don't know what it is, like, I hate to keep going back to it, but the obligatory violence just towards so many characters and stuff, like, it just...
I feel like we've moved past that in the book community.
In quarantine, Mike has found Jesus.
And like I said, I mean, it's you can kind of liken it to Ultimatum, like, in a sense.
Yeah, like, just like Ultimatum or like Final Crisis.
Where they're like, no, let's get rid of it, we're just going to reboot it, so let's just give this instead of thinking of a creative way to handle it, it's just a fucking bloodbath.
It's just for the sake of shock value, in my opinion.
I think it works better in books, honestly, because you got the whole page turn thing.
Yeah.
You're not constant motion of movie.
It's big splash page.
Yeah.
Getting ripped
of Blob eating the wasp.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And he's got bits, and it's gross.
That still gives me nightmares.
Or Giant Man picking Blob up and ripping his head off. God, that was fucked up. What's more messed up, Ultimatum or this?
Ultimatum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
But this is cut from the same cloth, though.
It is. And, you know, I after I'd watched it, I'd messaged you. I was like, listen, if you've been following, you need to watch it. And I still believe that. Like, if you've been following the movies, you need to watch it. It is the end cap of the entire thing.
And what an end cap.
And, I mean, there are some good moments. And I'm still unsure, like, did I like it or do I not like it? Like, there are definitely a lot of things I don't like, but...
They did have King Shark with kryptonite teeth for some reason.
Yeah.
How did you know that King Shark would be there?
King Shark is a shark.
You know, like, I don't know, like, whenever Harley Quinn was talking, or like King Shark, I'm like, man, I wish I was watching the Harley Quinn show and stuff.
Reminds me, I got a new episode to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so indifferent on it that... I just don't know where I stand on it. Like,
well, for me, I was telling you guys this before we started that, like, because this is the end cap of like the New 52 saga of these movies, that plays a lot into my decision as to if I liked it or not. Because like the ending of the story is like the ending of the story, so you need to have like a pretty solid, well-written ending to like kind of close out everything. And
you feel satisfied.
Yeah, like this just kind of feels like a obligatory, like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, because, I mean, this is going to kind of be like comparing apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. You look at something like Endgame, where you didn't have nearly as much death, but it was so much more impactful, and also the ending of the movie is still satisfying.
Yeah.
It's still an ending, and you're still like, where everybody ended up is where they needed to end up.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie ended up being a sort of a reboot, kind of a soft reboot, because so many characters that died came back.
Right. Well, and not only that, but like, it literally is like the you know, it's the final chapter of that whole phase of movies. Mm-hmm. So it's an ending, and it's a satisfying ending. This one and like I said, it's kind of like apples and oranges, but it's also kind of the same. But with Apokolips War, like, you have that shot of them sitting, like, after like the cyborg heroes like end up being good again, and then they're all sitting there on the, you know, pier or wherever they're at. And it's just like all these weird monster cyborgs, and like monster cyborg Starfire has like Nightwing on her lap, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, this is your new Justice League.
Yeah. See, I almost wish they'd continued after this at this point. And then they're like, well, the damage has been done. 35% of the Earth's magma is gone. We estimate 1 billion people will die before we can get things under control again. Well, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of tell, like, it's kind of like the shitty thing to do. They're just like, listen, Flash, I'm
going to need you to reset this room.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
It's like almost like rage quitting. Like, listen, just reset and start over.
Yep.
And he tries to tell him, he's like, no, come on, I don't want to do this again.
What don't you understand? And it has consequences.
I do like Constantine's like little things, like, listen, he's like, we'll probably still make some bad decisions, and it probably, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than this.
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah, I guess.
All right.
My biggest beef is they finally utilize Constantine, and then they fucking end it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
this movie didn't even, besides Constantine being in it, it wasn't really a Justice League Dark movie.
No.
Not in the slightest. It was just a Justice League movie with Constantine being a main character.
I wonder if there was something like contract-wise that like they said, well, we should name it Justice League Dark because the contract says we were supposed to have 2 Justice League Dark movies and blah, 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 and all that other like legal mumbo-jumbo.
No. See, the Dark in Justice League Dark is just the tone.
Oh, like Riverdale.
The dark is for the dark side.
Yeah. Dark is for dark side.
Okay, it all makes sense now.
But apparently, I guess from what I've heard, they're starting off a new thing of interconnected movies, starting with Superman Man of Tomorrow. I haven't watched the featurette on it yet. But I don't know if that's what people are saying. I don't know if that's true or not, if it's all going to be interconnected again. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to sit through more fucking origins.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to sit through the Justice League forming again. I don't want to sit through fucking Batman finding out about Damian again. I don't want it.
I thought we heard that it was supposed to be like the old days where everything was separate. There was no continuity between the movies.
I don't know.
That would be fine.
I would be okay with that.
I've seen enough shoehorn continuity to last me a long time.
Yeah, I mean, just give me my Blackest Night movie, goddammit.
I know, right?
Give me my zombie superheroes, goddammit.
You know what I watched? Because like I said, I was going through trying to rewatch a lot of these.
2 Girls, One Cup.
No, I rewatched because it's on the DC app. I rewatched Batman Hush.
Yeah.
Still terrible.
Yeah.
Still not good. Still not happy about that.
Yeah.
That one was bad.
That was very bad. This movie was also bad, I think.
I after 3 watches, I decided that I was just like, this was a terrible ending.
Yeah.
Like
what a
all right, so here's the thing. Before I watched it, like he said, there were spoilers everywhere, people talking about it, and everybody was like cracking it up. Everybody was like, this was amazing, and yada, yada, yada. And me being, kind of the standoffish guy I am, I go, yeah, you're full of shit. It's not that good.
I've seen people say that Batman Hush is good, and I'm like, what the fuck are you on?
They're on crack, obviously.
They might not have read the book.
That is true. I think I said that to somebody. They were like, oh, I want to watch Batman Hush. I go,
You're a fucking moron.
The thing was a piece of hot shit. And I was like, wait a minute. Have you read the book? And they're like, no. I was like, you might like it then.
You normie.
That's kind of how I felt about Red Sun, too. I was like, there are parts I really liked, and then parts I was just like, what the fuck? And then this whole movie was just me going, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was the third watch. The third watch, I was kind of like settled into like what I actually thought about the movie. I was halfway through and I'm like, yeah, no, I know what I
do. You think?
I know what I feel.
Do you think some people mistake brutality and excessive violence as
action?
Yeah, as
adult storytelling.
Yeah. Do you think they're like, oh, this is so edgy and adult? Like it
automatically writers fucking thought that way.
It automatically makes it good, or it automatically makes it must see TV.
Yeah,
it's refreshing to see consequences in a movie where superheroes normally save the day and everyone's okay at the end, but. Man, this is just too much. It's like you have a sandwich, and it's a pretty good sandwich, and you just put like 5 tablespoons of mayonnaise on top of it.
You already fucked up at 1. No mayonnaise for me.
Okay, a whole bunch of mustard.
Definitely. You're dead.
5 teaspoons of mayo and 5 teaspoons of mustard.
Yes, evenly on each side.
Mix together with your finger. With a slice of bologna in the middle.
Yeah, and some jelly. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just really felt... Normally, I'm a big fan of, dystopian, post-apocalyptic versions of stuff. That's like my favorite episodes and shows. Like, One Man's Worth and X-Men, the animated series. The episode of Gargoyles where they go to back and Xanatos is an evil AI mastermind.
Flashpoint?
Yeah, Flashpoint was fantastic. That was really well done. And it wasn't just death for the sake of shock value. It was for the sake of storytelling.
Here's a question. Do you think that's because a lot of those examples you've given, X-Men, Gargoyle, stuff like that, even Flashpoint, they are alternate futures. They are avoidable, so you have hope that things could end up... Like, this is just kind of like, oh, this could happen. So it's kind of cool to be like, oh, that could happen. But this happened in, like, a main continuity story that's been going on for 5 years. Yeah. It wasn't an alternate... I guess now it technically is, but it wasn't like an alternate reality or where they went back in time. And it was like, nope, this happened.
Yeah, but the thing
is... And now it's done.
Yep. They jumped right into it, which I thought was just such a bad way to go about it.
I think, because the deaths didn't... I feel most of the deaths didn't feel earned.
I agree. Like, nothing was hard... Well, it was all hard fought, but they were just all getting torn apart by generic fucking paradooms. Like, fucking... Those paradooms fucking sucked. Fucking thing sucks.
So I think I think we're sifting through this. I think we're really finding the issues and the problems with it, because I do think that that's part of the problem. Like, if I watch Justice League Flashpoint, I don't have a problem like when I see, Mira get her head cut off.
Yeah.
Because it's an alternate reality, and I'm not really, attached to that version of the character. But
not to mention they haven't devoted like
5 years of story,
like 10 movies to putting these characters together in a continuity, and then just having them killed left and right
unceremoniously. But and then I see that weird still image of Mary getting her head crushed and blood pouring out. I'm like,
crushing your head.
I'm just like, really?
It's like that. That's what I'm saying.
Like I do think that may be the thing. Like the fact that it's not really a dystopian future, an alternate timeline. It's not something that can go back and be fixed. It's just, this is it.
This is our big finale. Thanks for watching. I don't know, like the way I felt watching this movie throughout the entire time I felt like Etrigan sitting in that bar where he's just like, whatever. Just drinking liquor and eating an enormous turkey leg? Some kind of animal.
And once again, I hate to go to the Endgame comparison, because it's so different. But in a sense, I feel like it's really the only comparable thing we have.
Yeah,
something that was done right. Like you look at the deaths of like Black Widow, and Iron Man, like those were earned. Mm-hmm.
She had it coming for a while.
Those were earned. Those were payoffs, and though it sucked, like you understood it when you see a character like Aquaman that you spent a whole movie with, where he comes of age, he accepts it, and then you're just like, and fuck him.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just tell from the start.
Or you spend 2 movies with like the Teen Titans and fuck them.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, Jeff, but I feel like that whole outlook has kind of been DC's calling card for like the past 20 years.
Big time. They keep fucking shit up and then resetting the continuity.
And now it's just spilling over into our movies, or animated movies, which...
Stop it!
Yeah. I agree with you, Tony. Like, I think those animated films have been their best when they've been standalone, when you're not connected to any continuity. Like, just go back to that, like... I'm exhausted.
Side note here, this movie has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really?
And I love being smart.
And it has like something crazy high on like audience viewing is like maybe like 4.5 or close to 5 stars.
Wow.
And I was just like, this is wrong.
It's so weird how like
what
everything you've just said is wrong.
It's weird, like I don't dislike it as much as I think you guys do. I know I don't dislike it as much as you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's horseshit.
I would not put it in the bottom tier of these movies at all.
No.
But as a closer, I just was kind of like, this is bullshit.
At the same time, like
I've invested, like you said, 4 to 5 years, and this is what I get at the ending of this.
Just bleak sadness.
Like, things are so fucked up. We just have to risk restarting it.
Yeah,
again.
just no. It's not even the bleakness of it. It's just the factor of just shitty writing.
Yeah, I think it is bad writing.
It's just shit. Like it's shock value shit, and I'm just really kind of just getting fed up with it.
Yeah,
like
it didn't even introduce any cool characters that any of the Darkseid's homeboys, like Steppenwolf, Granny Goodness. They only mentioned the Furies.
Yeah, he had none of his like sidearm guys.
Yeah, Desaad, any of his homeboys, any of those weirdos.
And when they had the whole plan in effect, I thought that was going to be a lot more robust and like action storytelling, but it wasn't.
No.
It
sounded. You know what I kind of liken it to? Like to somebody having like a decent, solid idea, but they don't know where to take it or what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like I have this idea, but I mean, let's throw they have like this weird half-assed plan, like and Darkseid's going to take the Earth's lava, and
it really did seem like something out of a Deviant account, like fan fiction or something. And then there's the parademons, but the parademons are half Doomsday, and
you know what it reminds me of?
The Snyder Cut.
Yes, it reminds me of me as a kid playing with my action figures, and I think I had these great ideas, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill this character. But like, it's not really thought out. It's just nonsense, really. None of it matters. All right, see you next week, guys. I guess should we go into our ratings?
Yeah.
Is this something we should do?
We can do that.
All right.
This is the part I'm going to be rusty at. We haven't did this in a while.
No,
I can go first.
Be gentle.
Man, this movie fucking sucked. I didn't like it. don't know. I just didn't care for it. Like, there was very little. I didn't like the voice acting that was in it. Like, Tony Todd I like a lot, but I didn't think he did that great of a job. Like, I would have preferred having Michael Ironside back. And the shock value just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I thought the pacing was all fucked up. It was a good, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes before an actual legitimate fight scene happened. And yeah, like even characters like Wonder Woman had almost no screen time. Like,
yeah, she had like 0.
I just thought it was a big turd sandwich.
Just seeing her get her arm ripped off, Shazam get his leg ripped off.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't care for it. Made me angry and sad.
No, sir, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
And it's just, I don't understand. I don't think it was good storytelling. Anything where you have to end it in a universal reboot normally isn't good storytelling. But
where the heroes are sitting there telling the Flash to reboot it.
Yeah. Hey, Flash, why don't you just reboot all this shit? Oh, yeah, Flash is here. All right. You know, just, I don't know.
We know you've been on that treadmill for a really long time.
Your legs are looking jacked, by the way.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He kind of completely like muscled up after he got off of that.
He did.
Which I was like, okay, so did they find him like an open party store and he just like puffed a bunch of stuff down, or
I don't know how that works.
Carb up, baby.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll give it like 3 magma baths in the middle of a fucking Green Lantern oath out of 10.
Wow. That's a low one. That could be the lowest.
Yeah, I think it's the lowest I've given.
I think it might be. Holy cannoli. All right, I'll go next.
Okay.
I share almost all the same feelings with Jeff. Tony,
I shared nothing with Jeff.
I was super excited about Tony Todd voicing him because Tony Todd does the voice of Zoom in season 2 of The Flash.
And he's the Candyman.
And he's the Candyman. He has this like very like kind of prominent like almost like terrifying voice. Mm-hmm. And it was just nothing. Like I wouldn't even have thought that was Tony Todd. I was just like, this is bogus. And let alone with the fact that it's just crap writing. Like they sat down at that writer's table and were like, all right, this is the last one. So let's just
gloves are off, baby.
Let's just get this over with and maybe just put a bunch of random crazy shit in here and to make people happy, which apparently it did according to the scores. But my score is a definite hard 6 out of 10. Crushing of my hearts of the death of my favorite superheroes for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Mira head crushes.
Yeah.
It did make that noise.
It did.
It made this noise.
I'm not going to be as harsh as you guys were on it. Fuck you.
You're wrong.
I do, which is weird because, well, yeah. I do think that, like I said, there was a good idea in here somewhere.
Somewhere underneath the rubble.
I enjoyed the randomness of the
dead bodies.
I enjoyed the randomness of the team.
Yeah,
Superman, Constantine, Raven, Damian
cool
Wayne,
getting some time to shine.
You know, it was this really weird cobbled together team that always is going to interest me. Constantine was really enjoyable, but once again, just like the overall brutality for the sake of it, and just being like, well, it's the last one, instead of thinking of more creative. Mm-hmm. I feel it's easier to be like, let's just fucking kill everybody, as opposed to doing something a little more impactful and a little more heartfelt.
You don't need to write for 30 characters. We kill 25 of them.
Yep. It's very true. And turn the other 5 into cyborgs.
Yes.
I mean, I think it does get... I don't know if having the past universe makes it slightly more enjoyable. Like, I don't know how somebody would react if they haven't seen a lot of the previous stuff, and you're just like, hey, here, watch this. Mm. They'd be like, what the fuck?
Holy shit. These guys are eating it.
They're eating it hard.
Isn't that Wonder Woman? Holy shit.
There goes her arm. I think I would give it a 6 out of 10 DeviantArt fan fictions. Not the best, not the worst, but it still doesn't leave me satisfied at the end. It leaves me just kind of going, well, that was a real bummer.
Yeah. Well, I guess
and maybe
wait for the reboot.
And maybe the state of the current world doesn't help things.
Maybe.
Like when you're just like, oh, well, that was just as bleak as my surroundings.
I need a nice superhero fantasy escape movie. Let's try this Apocalypse. Oh, shit, this is awful.
No, I feel even worse.
Guess it's Mrs. Doubtfire again.
Hello. know what's funny is I've noticed we tend to skew away from the general consensus on a lot of these.
Yeah, we really do.
Which means one or two things: either we're the smartest people in the room, or we just are fucking have terrible taste.
Idiot fanboys,
or we just hate most of everything.
You let us know in the comments below.
We don't like. I mean, if you enjoy this movie, that's fine. I'm not gonna call you a dummy.
I will.
Dumb. But no, it just was not my cup of tea. It was very bitter, and I didn't like it.
You don't like bitter tea?
No, I don't. I like sugar and milk in my tea.
Sweet tea.
Yes.
Sweet tea for my sweet pea.
Sometimes an Arnold Palmer.
Yes.
All times an Arnold Palmer.
Hell yeah, those are good.
No, there's nothing wrong with the fact that anybody actually liked this movie. It's just, I invested 4 to 5 years. We were reviewing these movies in episode 1.
I think every single one has been reviewed on the show.
I think every single one. I don't know if we went back appropriate and did Flashpoint.
Yeah, but yeah, every single one we've reviewed, I believe, on the show.
Flashpoint was great.
So if anything, we have higher standards for these movies.
Yes, we're connoisseurs.
I for the most part, since they started doing these animated movies, since Superman Doomsday, way back,
the original one,
2009, these movies have always been like week one purchases for me, and I watch them. I live and breathe by these movies.
Yeah, I always really look forward to the DC animated films, and I always really want to enjoy them. So it's not just us being like.
No, yeah, I mean, I think, once again, talking about it, which is something I haven't gotten to for a long time, talking to you guys about it and really sifting through the kitty litter,
for the nuggets.
We found a lot of what didn't connect with us, and I think they're all valid points, not just because there are points, but I think that we provided very astute observations about why some of this stuff didn't connect with us, why the deaths seemed pointless and meaningless.
It seemed hollow.
And why, in the end, we didn't feel as satisfied as we did with, some other films. Like, here, if I could compare it to another dystopian type film that's, dark and gritty, even The Dark Knight Returns ends on somewhat of a up note, with them underground and all that. So, yeah, I think
that was written by Frank Miller.
Yeah. I think just
that tells you a lot, actually. All joking aside,
just deciding to kill everybody and reset everything in the long run, in the end, is just a very
such a hackneyed way. Just like, why don't you just run really fast again, Barry? Okay.
I mean, and if they
it wasn't. There's nothing to drive. Like, he wasn't even in the movie for 90% of it. He only showed up there to be a plot device.
Yeah.
They used the Flash as a plot device.
Yep. Again.
Like, I mean, this may sound naive, but if you wanted to do a true ending and put some heart behind it, do something where they maybe they do lose that first battle, but in the end they do defeat Darkseid and the movie just ends. You don't have to reboot it. It just is end. That's the end of the universe.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a solid point.
You don't have to just be like, fuck it, let's just blood and guts and destruction.
Don't worry, none of it'll have happened because we restarted the universe at the end.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Just restart the continuity without a fucking
people will understand it. You'd be like, okay, that's the end of it. Now we're gonna do a new thing. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
At least make it enjoyable for me. Make me feel like I watch these films for a reason, other than just seeing them all get ripped apart in the end.
Yeah, and give me a fucking Green Lantern movie that's good. Son of a bitch.
Is it so much to have?
But I think that'll do it for this week's episode. I am rusty as fuck on these plugs.
I do want to start out by saying thank you to all the sponsors for our March Madness that ended.
Yeah, the virus really fucked up March Madness. Throne of Toys, 9 Planets Comics, Three Wise Men Media, and Clothesline Collectibles. Thank you for throwing in some prizes there for our Patreons, which they all enjoyed a vast amount. Their faces when I delivered them showed great happiness.
I cried each and every one of them.
There was some good stuff in those, I will say.
There was some solid stuff. And we threw our own little somethings in there too.
Ew.
No, I didn't do that this time.
Check us out on every podcast platform imaginable. Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iTunes. You can also find us on YouTube. YouTube.
On the YouTube.
We got tons of content up there, including reviews and such. No hunting videos because we can't.
No.
Can't really do
we haven't done a hunting video in a long time, though. Our area, a lot of people have asked me about the hunting videos, so I'm gonna throw this out now. Our area fucking sucks. If we did a hunting video all the time, 9 times out of 10 we'd walk out empty-handed. Oh wow, it's the same shit as last week.
Wow, 50 wasps.
So I would say that like a toy hunt video is something that's a little bit more special for like when we go to like a Comic-Con or we find a store worthwhile to check out.
Definitely not something. I mean, even if we did it like every few months, like to do it every week, or every few weeks, like it's always the same shit. Like literally, the Walgreens by my house has had these same Marvel Legends for probably about a year now. It's always the same. Malekith, some Wasps, Ant-Man.
It was all fun and games when I first started collecting again, but now I'm all caught up. So now I don't buy much other than new releases.
Also, go ahead, click our affiliate links below for Google. We have Twink again, right?
Yeah, we have Twink. We have Amazon.
Keep calling it Twink.
Not Google. Why did I say Google?
I don't know.
We are officially sponsored by Google.
That would be hot. Yeah, we got Amazon, Twink, and Entertainment Earth.
I swear you're saying Twink.
Toy NK.
I got Twink.
Toy Inc.
Toy Inc. One of these days, I'm gonna. One of these days, when we have Comic-Cons again, I'm gonna go up to the booth and be like, "How do you pronounce it?"
It's Twink. Like the little gay man.
And then always you can head over if you want to support and sign up at our Patreon.
In these uncertain times.
Yeah. Patreon.com/Kapowcast. I do feel like a heel plugging this, but I'm going to still plug it anyways.
It's only a virus.
It's only a virus. Everybody on unemployment's making more than me anyways right now, so.
Man, you ain't kidding. That's a lot of money. Printing out a lot of money.
Let's see.
Yep.
And then you can go pick up a merch over on tpublic.com.
Yes, we do have that.
New designs coming soon, hopefully. Once again, the fucking pandemic screwed that up too. So
it really did like take the wind out of sales. It took the wind out of sales for March Madness.
Everything.
Like it really hurt. Like it just mentally, it was just like I just wasn't in it.
Yeah. Story time. Before it all hit, there was so much shit that was about to roll out for us. And so much shit that had just rolled out for us that it hit and everything was just like, like the site, nothing's been posted because nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Like I guess, we could fiddle around and, figure out something, but Jesus Christ.
All died and that the continuity restarted. And the new Jeff, this is the new Mike.
There's t-shirt designs still in the works because, people are trying to, make it through this like really tough time, and I'm not going to be the guy that like, hey, you got my thing done? You got that done for me yet? But
yeah,
would you like to do it?
Just
bear with us.
Just bear with us.
Like I'm not even sure. Like who knows next week if we'll be able to. Right. It's
on you.
What the fuck's going to happen next week?
Yeah, like we really don't know. Like I do think getting this out there and hopefully like the people that listen to us are going to be happy and see and hear this and be like, oh, they're back.
Yeah,
they're alive.
So just bear with us all. We're gonna get back into this.
I won't be here. I'm leaving again.
Hopefully you won't be stranded because
God, dude, don't even say that. Don't even say anything because like
shark to pussy.
It's literally my biggest fear. Is they're like, oh, we can't get you out of there right now, and I'm like, no, you gonna, you gonna.
I'm gonna start walking then.
I'm about to David Banner this thing.
Until next time, I think we got everything right.
Maybe.
Okay. Once again, we're
bear with us.
Bear with us. We're getting back on the saddle. Until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Jeff.
And don't forget, King Shark is a shark. See you next time.